Hi, my name is Claudia, and I'm here with Gozamos at the University of Chicago for the World Music Festival. And I am with Alsarah and the new Batones. So I want to ask you each individually if you can tell me a little bit about who you are and how you got started musically and how you met.
My name is Alsarah, and I am a Brooklyn-based singer. I was born in Sudan, and I moved to the States about 16 years ago. I started singing when I moved to the States, actually, in middle school. I joined the music choir, and from there sort of spun a huge love with music, and then I ended up switching in high school to performing arts school, and music started a long time ago. But I started in New York about 7 years ago, and actually my first professional gig in New York, I played with Haig. In the same big orchestra. So that's how he and I met. And then I met everybody else in different projects. Nahed's my sister. Karine is a good friend of mine. We met in a different artistic collaboration in the past. And and Rami I met through a different band that I was working with also in New York a few years back. And so I was just, I was like, you guys, I want to do this band. I want to do this kind of music. And I brought the repertoire to everyone. And I was like, who's down, who's in? And they were all into it, so I was really lucky. And then everyone just we brought original material and covers, and everyone kind of brought their own spin to it and how they heard the music and their approach to the sound.
My name is Karine Florima, and I'm a Brooklyn-based keyboardist and vocalist. I sang backup vocals for Alsarah in the new Batones. And I have been singing since the 4th grade, mostly opera as well as jazz, and recently have been coming into more African music, which is how Sada and I connected around music and our love of all good music.
Hello, my name is Nahed Abunam Al-Ghali, and I'm Sada's younger sister. So that's my connection to the band. I started singing with Sada I think ever since we were young. We just kind of always jammed. I'm based in San Francisco, and I'm a full-time preschool teacher, and I do theater, performing arts.
My name is Haig Manoukian, and I play the instrument, the oud, which is an instrument that anybody speaks Arabic and Turkish plays. And I came to New York in 1970, started working in a lot of bands where there were Greek, Arabic, and Turkish players. And after doing that for a while, I worked with groups traveling in Europe. But right now, I'm so excited. This is like one of my big excitements of working with Sarah and this group of Nubian and Nubian-related music.
Hello, my name is Rami Alsarah. I'm a percussionist, and I also live in Brooklyn. I play mainly Middle Eastern percussion, so the def or frame drum, the darbuka or tabla, and the rik, like tambourine. And in New York, that means you play for a lot of belly dance and traditional music. Also some other projects, and my background is Egyptian. And a couple years back, I started really taking an interest in Nubian music, and so it was really nice that to meet Sarah at this point in my life, and we were able to actually bring some of it to America and to New York.
Yeah, Rami was actually one of the people who really, he and I were the first. He was one of the first people I started kind of connecting with in the head about the Songs of Return. He was writing his master's thesis about Nubian history, about Egyptian cult, like postmodern.
Yeah, but Nubia's after.
Yeah, Nubia after the First revolution now, yeah, exactly. After the revolution. So he and I were connecting a lot, and we would play music back and forth. And I was like, yeah, I love this song. I used to listen to the song all the time growing up. I didn't know it was part of the repertoire of Songs of Return. And then he'd be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he'll tell me a little bit more about the theater, and be like, and then I would bring him some other traditional songs and be like, well, how about this kind of stuff and this kind of stuff? That's also a part of it. And so we had this like back and forth mentally about it for a long time. And and then I brought the music to Karine, and I felt like we're all from different backgrounds originally. Like Karine is Haitian originally, although she's from Texas, and Haig has an Armenian background, and I have a Sudanese background, and I felt like a lot of the fact that we're all from different places, the concept of songs of returns and the concept of doing these songs, you know, it's all about the diaspora and being an immigrant almost. And so I felt like we all were able to connect with that and able to experience that and like subconsciously kind of feel that in the music. There's a division. There's a clear repertoire of music that started in the late 50s and 60s when people were being relocated. The high dam in Egypt in Aswan was built, and a huge region along the Nile there was a huge man-made lake that was created. And in order for it to be created in Halfa, a lot of people were relocated, and they were relocated further in the desert, and they were all farmers who kind of and all the farming in that region happens only along the Nile. So there's a big history of displacement that not a lot of people talk about of the Nubian people. So I feel like once the high dam was built, there was a clear division in the repertoire of music. You know, instead of just being ceremonial music or traditional, you know, music, there was now a new genre in that music that only talks about the return to home, keeping the memories of your home alive. A lot of the lyrics are just about wandering forever and feeling like you'll never be able to go home.
And can you tell me who writes the lyrics? Is it a collaboration, or is there a specific individual that's part of the New Batones that does the lyric writing?
Well, as of right now, I do most of the lyric writing, but our repertoire is definitely a lot of covers of traditional stuff as well as original material. So far, I've been doing the melody and the lyric writing, but it's an equal effort of putting together the actual songs, and then all of the arrangements of the traditional stuff is very much a collaborative effort.
So if I could ask each one of you to maybe comment a little as to what it is that you value being a part of the group.
I guess a lot of it for me is, you know, the opportunity to bring this material out. I mean, Nubian music is, you know, it's very unique in its own place, you know, where it comes from, and then at the same time, it speaks to, as Sarah was saying, everyone who, you know, has had to leave their home for some reason or another, and, you know, thinks of a place that they can no longer go back to.
I don't like to play music that's too easy to play. And I mean, I've played other like Tanzanian, Kenyan, Zimbabwe music, but I don't know, it was the selection. And Sarah was in that group, and so was Rami. And then we tried to do one Nubian tune, Zain, and it really was a difficult, and the group could not hack it. So then we moved and formed this other group, and I feel that the music is at a level that it's challenging. You know, it's pentatonic, and musically it's challenging, and that's why I love being in this group.
I think the thing that I really value the most about being a part of this group is kind of being able to bring out the history of my culture through music, which is, you know, something that I've tried to do through theater and tried to do through dance with a Sudanese dance group that I was in beforehand, but I've never really fully understood through music. So that's the part that I value the most.
I really enjoy playing such groove-based music a lot. I've had to relearn a lot of things as a musician. It's really about listening and feeling, and it's more challenging than I think a lot of people think that it is to hold down a groove, and so it's really great to be able to do it in this group.
I guess I don't know. There's so many things that I appreciate about being in the group. I really, every time I think we have a show, I'm always kind of in awe of the musicianship, the level of musicianship in the band, and like how everyone's able to come together, and then also off stage just be awesome people. You know, like we're genuinely caring and supportive of each other, and I love everybody always seeking to fulfill each other's artistic vision. That I feel like something that's really hard to do in a band, where, you know, sometimes competitions happen and such things, but I feel like in this group people are always trying to listen to each other and kind of bring everybody's artistic vision to life, you know, which has always been amazing. And it's also amazing to explore songs that I grew up listening to, as an adult, like really come at it now from almost like an outsider's point of view, because when you're trying to teach songs to some people, or you're trying to all learn songs together, what you're taking in and what you're not, and then just hearing what comes out, like what comes out, how it's different than the original that you heard, but still sounds like the original, kind of sounds unique.